Well, hello, Ludinia. Kamarashiv.
Haguma,
Gleva. I'm Tolicha. I'm Reclunchin.
hi for Anju.
Hey, Four. Yeah. 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 Okay. I guess Karach Ur Akinya. We have a new friend. Aaron is joining us. Yeah. So anyway,
Hallo a Harjan. Wajava.
hey, okay. So Aaron, can you tell us a little something about yourself?
In Gaelic.
Whatever you prefer.
Ismisha Òran. Hami Seattle.
Seattle, okay.
Anis Almion and San Diego. Is Tulum Balcoshakt.
Oh, okay,
Agus
clever.
Mo Mochat.
Dochat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, clever. Okay. I guess, well, clever. I guess, all right. And right here, as you see, we have Jane. And Jane is also learning Irish Gaelic. And Lisa. Okay, and Lisa lives in down by Temecula, right?
Temecula.
Okay, Foscare Temecula. Okay. And Heather's been with us a while.
I'm out in San Diego.
Out in San Diego, Kuchuk. Okay. And then Denise. Okay. Denise on show, Kuchuk. Yeah.
Oh, I'm from Sereno Valley.
Okay, Gleva. I guess Matthew. Matthew on show.
What's up?
Okay. Well, just introducing everybody to Aaron, our okay. Olenich Ur. Okay, Gleva.
Fàilte.
And then
More than
Aaron,
time.
yeah, okay. Then Aaron has been studying for a while, right? Aaron? Yeah.
Had Duolingo Gaelic Akam.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, Gleva. On Tullet Duolingo? Mianachma. Okay, Gleva. Okay. So now Heather will attest to this. Heather's also works on Duolingo. Are you still doing Duolingo, Heather? Okay. Huh? Okay. And as Heather will attest, I often encourage people to use as many different venues as they can. So Duolingo does some things well and other things not so well, and so God bless you. And so it doesn't hurt to triangulate our learning. Yeah. And then we have Pat. Pat has just come. Hello, Pat. Okay. Olenahur Akinya. Aaron. Aaron on show. Okay. And Pat, you said that Tim would be coming as well, right? How Bulloff that. Oh, Bulloff. You're on mute. Pat is on mute.
Yes, he said he was coming, and I'll text him. When I called him earlier, it was either his TV or he was having a good time somewhere.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions before we get started? Questions, points of interest? Neonach, Nayak, news.
Well, I'm kind of wondering about time telling, like there's some languages where it's kind of outdated in English, like quarter till or 10 till or that kind of thing, because you used to wear a watch. But I don't know. Is that something we're going to be covering later or sooner?
Okay, now what's this? I'm sorry, Denise, I missed the first part of what you were saying. So could you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I talk too much sometimes. Are we going to be learning about how to tell time and, doing time?
Oh, yes, yes, yeah, yeah. We'll learn that. Okay. In fact, okay, so on show, I shak uren. Okay, so go back to our numbers, yeah. Un, aga, a tri, a kehir, a koigen, so uh and it's uren, shak uren, for instance. Shak minus a stoi shak. Show Shak Uren Fesker. Okay. Yeah, so I'll give you that. Okay. And I'll come up with uh a formal lesson plan, but just so go back to our numbers, and then it's well, 1 o'clock would be just be Ur. Okay. And then oops, now I'm writing, but I didn't share the screen. So let me share the screen. Okay. Okay, share screen. Okay, all right. Okay, so you can see my screen now, right? So Ur would be 1 o'clock, 1, and then Fesker for afternoon or PM, and then Savaten for morning or AM. Okay, so Ur Savaten would be 1 o'clock at night, and Ur Fesker would be 1 in the afternoon. And then after that, you have Da'ur, either, and then they're notated as, say, Da'ur M for Savaten and Da'ur Fesker for PM. Okay. And and then note that Da'ur, Da, the number 2, is counted as a singular. So it's Da'ur. So after that, you get Tri Uren, which would be the plural. Tri Uren, Kehir Uren, Koig, Uren, Shia Uren, Shak Uren, Ok Uren, Noi Uren. And then as far as counting goes, we haven't quite gotten into over 10, but it'd be Jech Uren, and then Un Ur Juk for 11.
11.
Uh-huh. And then Da Ur
Jig.
Juk, yeah, for 12. And then of course Martin or Fesker. Okay. All right. So and I'll devise a formal lesson plan for this, and thank you for bringing that up, Denise. But anyway, this kind of gives you a head start on that. Okay. So and then okay, and then after, okay, and then see, so you can say right now, un minich jug usj
Check.
shuck
Shook.
uren
Pudding. Fesker.
Vesker. Very good. Yeah, okay. Unminishjug, I think it'd be unvinishjug. Unvinishjug usj shuck uren fesker for 11 minutes past 7. Or you could say, if it's say on the other side of the dial. You could say Ficket minich gu och uren fisker. Ficket minich gu 20 minutes to 8 o'clock. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So
And os is after.
och. Oh, no. Gu och. Och would be 8.
No, the one right before it, the accent over the O, os.
Osj. Osj.
Os J is the term.
After. Yeah, is after. Osj. Okay. Unvinnesjug Osj shakuden fesker. Osj after. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. All right. There we go. Okay. So there's a quickie informal lesson, and always count on Denise on bringing up some interesting questions. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And then, as I said, I'll devise a formal lesson on this as we go forward. Okay. So right now, we are going to be getting into other types of language material. I've concentrated on sentences, building up our capacity to say a sentence. But as you saw tonight, we're going to take a look at gender, and we'll be looking, as we go forward, we'll be looking at vocabulary and other turns of the language, other special features of the language, and this certainly falls into the type of stuff that we're going to be wanting to cover. Okay, so tleva, and then I will append this. I will attach this to, where are we? Okay, not that. Yeah. Well, I'm at it. I'm trying to find the okay, the chapter, and I will append it to the notes section of today's lesson, and then upload that and provide it to you in the Dropbox. So you have these additional notes, and Aaron, just for your information, I do upload our class materials to the Dropbox. You might have seen that, and then I update them in with any added material that I add during the class, and so you'll have the class notes, that I put on the that I attach to the tail end of the class lesson. All right. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right, Leva. Okay, so this is Capitol Uns Koigjug. And of course, our motto, Nashara Gaelic Vristja, Na Avierlich Klistja. Okay. Better broken Gaelic than fluent English. Okay. Klistja. Can be interpreted as fluent or going along clippingly. Okay. Okay. All right. And today, in honor of the so I'm a little early on this, but next week we have coming up, I guess 11 days from now, we have coming up Burns Night, Eichenatakish. Okay, so we have Robert Burns as our Piper of the Week. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. And here's all our links. And if you haven't noticed, Aaron, the Dropbox, which goes to the parent Dropbox for the whole class, and then from there you can go to the various folders for each succeeding week. All right. Okay. And if I've wrong song, I want to go Fair Bhàta. the song we're going to be doing tonight. And it's just one song. Though to tell the truth, I thought I fixed this. So anyway, all right. And here's the Dropbox. Okay, all right. So Fàilte. Okay, all right. Fun phrase of the week. I'm gonna shrink this a little bit. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Hami hotolacha ribroig. Hami hotolacha ribroig. Okay, I'm as happy as a shoe. and and why in Gaelic shoes are happy, I don't know. I can't tell you that, but apparently they are. So I mean hotolacha ribroig. Okay, ribroig. Okay. So go ahead and try that. Hami hotolacha
Hami hotolishta
ribroig.
rebroid.
Yeah.
Coachella.
And as usual, we if we have what's called a diphthong, two vowels together in the middle of the word, very often we end up saying them both. Okay, so it's not broke, it's broig, broig. Okay, and very often the last I in a case like this is not pronounced overtly, but kind of with a smile. So broig. Yeah. So yeah, so that's very subtle I, and it's very possible not to hear it. Okay. Yeah, but the way to get it is to kind of pull your lips back when you say it. Broig. Okay. Leva. Broig. Okay. So you can add that to your responses to Kimmerahau. I expect to hear somebody say, "Oh, I mean, okay, okay." Shanachal neshechina. Biar. So note this: biar with the
BR.
biar avisavech adroch yan agal. Okay, better to be quiet than to give a bad poem or to sing a bad song. Okay, so here we have such a bad song it makes the dog howl. Okay. Okay. All right. So and there's a number of different ways that we could interpret this. Okay. And literal interpretation, okay, just exactly what it seems to say. Metaphorically, speaks to the value of silence and discretion. Okay. Sometimes it's better to hold your tongue. Quality over quantity. Okay, the cultural value of prioritizing quality over quantity. No need to be chattering like a monkey. Okay. Gaelic culture emphasizes the importance of personal and community reputation. So a bad song might be interpreted as a poor decision or unwise words. Patience and prudence. It encourages patience, waiting for the right time to sing your song. Okay. And a critique of hubris. Pride or boasting, like I'm the best, I'm wonderful, I know everything, is not a feature that is valued in Gaelic culture. Okay, Gaelic culture values modesty and humility. Okay, all right, and okay, and modern implications. Sometimes it's better to say nothing at all or to post nothing at all than to post nonsense on Facebook or someplace like that. Okay. And language notes. A dan is literally a poem, but it could be a song. And in Gaelic, there's often not a clear distinction between a poem and a song. We make, well, in our culture, in modern day American culture, we make a big distinction, but remember that poems were very often said out loud and very often in a way they were sung. Okay. So, and the emphasis in songs was on the words, was on the poetry of the words. And so there's kind of an overlap there. Okay. And gal or gav, sometimes a poem or a song is given or taken rather than sung, and so that's just an idiom, you know. Agal Òran, to give a song. Okay, all right. Anyway, all right. Just a couple language notes there. All right. Okay. Oh, and here's a little extra for you. Okay. A forever calendar. Okay, so you can, this is for January. I'm Fàilte. Okay, literally, uh, something like the month of the wolf. Okay, foil is an old word for wolf.
Oh,
So, and oddly enough, coincidentally enough, I was reading in the last couple of days that there's some Native American languages that refer to January as the month of the wolves as well. So it's the time of year when the wolves are roaming around in the snow and they're hungry and there isn't much game and they're howling and all that. So anyway, and then if you turn it sideways, you see, so that's the month. And this is a good way for you to learn the days, the month and the days. And at the beginning of each month, I'll try to remember to give you the forever calendar for that month. And you can print this up and then just write in the days that are appropriate to the particular year. And next year you can print it up again, print up the blank one again, and you have the calendar. So say the days after me. La Nasabich.
Lana
Anasabich,
Jaloon,
Jaloon,
Jimarsht,
Jimarsh,
Jakirtan,
Kirtan,
Justoon,
Justun,
Jahunya,
Jehunia,
and Jasarnya.
Jasarnia.
Okay, there you go. Okay, those are the days of the week. Okay, so print that up and write in the the dates, and each day say the day of the week that it is. Okay. All right, Pleva. All right. Okay. And dates of this month: New Year's Day, Eichikalan, or the La Naviliana Ur. Okay. The sinking of the Ilara. Do we know what that is?
That's an eagle.
Yes, it's an eagle. But it's also a ship,
Oh, okay.
and I will give I don't have a lesson on it tonight, but one of these days I'll give you the history of it. But in short, it was a tragedy that happened at the end of the First World War. The Ilara was coming home to the Isle of Lewis. And within sight of the harbor, it struck a reef and sank.
Oh, wow.
And hundreds of Highlanders native to Lewis were drowned. And it's still remembered as a great tragedy, because after surviving the trenches of the First World War, they died within sight of home. And so anyway. And of course, later on this week, we have Burns Night, celebration of Robert Burns. And I do have a presentation on Robert Burns and his Gaelic heritage tonight, and James Watt, inventor of the steam engine. Okay, so anyway, all right. Okay. All right, so grammar na Shechina, gender in language. As we've touched on so far, Gaelic is a gendered language. Okay, there are two genders in Gaelic, masculine and feminine. In many European languages, there are three genders, masculine, feminine, and neuter. Okay. Some languages don't have, just a little note, English used to have genders. Old English used to have genders. And we still have a couple fossilized vestiges of gender in English. One that comes to mind is our reference to ships as a she. So that goes back a long time. But anyway, but for the most part, gender does not occur for inanimate objects in English. Some European languages have no gender. Okay. Finnish, for instance, doesn't even have genders for he and she. Okay. They don't distinguish between a he and a she when talking about people. And remember that gender doesn't just refer to what we call natural gender. That is, sex of a person, okay, a male or female. You can think of it more as a category of nouns. Okay, so the convention has grown that we refer to them as genders, and in some cases they do refer to what you call natural genders, in some cases not. There's some languages that have 10 or more. There's some Native American languages that have 50 to 140. Okay. Oh, and here's a fun fact. The Tayuca language spoken by a tribe in the Amazonian rainforest of South America is reputed to have as many as 140 genders. I say reputed because unfortunately the linguist who was researching the language had his head chopped off and mounted on a local hut before he could finish his study. So we're not quite sure how many genders there are in the language. Anyway. Okay. So back to Gaelic. Sometimes, most of the time, the gender, when we refer to people, the gender of a noun corresponds with the gender of the thing. So fair is which means man, sometimes can mean a person or one, but is masculine. Meischen is feminine. It means maiden or a girl. Okay. Lo is a filly, that is a young female horse. Okay, that's feminine. There are exceptions. There's always exceptions in Gaelic. Boranach, for instance, which refers to a woman, which means woman, is masculine, has a masculine gender. Okay. And of course, there's genders that are attached to things that don't have any natural genders. Rat is a road. Masculine tie, masculine equals a house. Fluchek is feminine, means a snowflake. Mittuk means a mitten or a glove, and that's feminine. Okay. Okay. And then when you use pronouns, they always reflect the gender of the noun that you're referring to. So when somebody says, referring to the Isle of Skye, on Sgeulachd, they say ha e bria. The a refers to the Isle of Skye, which is masculine. The name, the word, the Isle of Skye on Sgeulachd. Okay, all right. Literally, the speaker is saying he is beautiful. Okay. And when they say ha e fur, they are literally saying she is cold, because the noun for weather, anchicha, is feminine. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so that's the usual practice. Right. All right. And that's just a preface, because we haven't even gotten to the lesson yet. Okay. So now what we're going to do, so I'm just going to give the lesson tonight, and next week we'll come back and we'll have some exercises to practice this stuff. Okay. All right. So tonight I'm just going to run through the lecture, as it were. Okay, so the tells that a word is feminine. Oh, so first I'm going to concentrate on feminine nouns. And there's a reason for that because the tells for the feminine noun are very distinct. And so you really only have to learn one thing, and that is whether it's feminine or not. You see, so and for me, I just do this from my own standpoint, I guess. It's easier to learn one thing than it is to learn more than one thing, right? And so if you can tell whether a word is feminine or not, if it's not feminine, then it's masculine. Okay. And then the feminine nouns have some very distinct features. All right, okay. So first, it has an ak or an ek at the end of the word. Okay. Chivaltuk, civilization. Nashentuk, nationality. Okay. These are feminine. Those are feminine endings. An ak or an ek at the end of the word. For example, me, me, more exemplar. Something wrong with my spelling here. Okay, yeah, okay. For example, so when you see me, that's more exemplar, for example. Okay, all right. So anyway, kulik, fly, unyik, window, kalik, girl. Okay, these are all feminine, and you can tell that they're feminine. Well, one, you could probably tell that kalik is feminine because it refers to a female person, right? Okay, refers to a noun with a natural gender, a young girl, a girl. Okay, but other than that, it's got the eag ending. Okay. All right, so that's rule number one, the special type of ending, the ak or the ek. Right? Okay. It's got a slender last vowel. And so remember, okay, I'm just going to do this. Slender vowels equal E or I. All right. Okay. Okay, an E or I is called a slender vowel. All right, so it's a good chance it's female. It's not the last letter in the word, but the last vowel. So it could be buried behind a couple other, or I guess in front of a couple other letters like consonants, but it's the last vowel in the word. So like brakisht, breakfast, shekach, jacket, skoil, school. These are feminine words. And the tell that they're feminine is the last vowel, okay? The slender last vowel. And if the last vowel is broad, chances are the word is masculine. Okay, so, all right, so certain categories. This gets a little bit more complicated, but there's a mnemonic, A, B, C, D, or E. All right, so Anavian August Persenka Boranach. Okay, so not to imply that female persons are animals, but but it's a handy mnemonic. Okay, Anavian. So Anavian Boranach. Okay, Anavian. I should say Anavian Boranach. Female animals. Okay, or female persons, except of course the word Boranach. Okay. So bow, animals that are obviously female. Bow, a cow, kura, a sheep, and of course, and I'll put in another one that occurs to me. Low, a filly. Okay. All right. Or Nian, a girl, or Kalyak, old woman. Okay, so Anavian Bodanach, I guess Persican Bodanach. Okay, all right, so all right. All right, so I have some others here: Nian, Maistin, Maher, pure, Maher, mother, pure, sister, Shenavar, grandmother. Okay, these are all feminine. These are all feminine. Okay, female persons. Okay, except now, do I make a note? Okay, well, I think I have exceptions down below. Okay, except Bodanak. Okay, so Bana. So Bana. So this falls into the female persons category. So in front of a noun that begins with a vowel, Bana indicates, okay, I'll put female or woman. So Bana Haicher, a female soldier, a warrior. Okay. Bana Gaskek, a female hero. All these are feminine words. Bana Iskar, a female fisherman, a fisher person, a fisherwoman. Okay. A Bana Vuchek, a witch, or specifically a female witch. In Gaelic, there are such things as male witches. So, just a regular Buchek, or you have a Bana Vuchek. Okay. And then note that the Bana Lanites. Okay. Oh, note that the Bana Lanites. Okay, so Bana Haicher, Bana Gaskik, Bana Isker, there's no way to lanite a word that begins with a vowel. Bana Vuchek or Bana Rooster, a filthy, nasty, indecent, or obscene female. Okay, okay, okay. Trooster would be the male version of this. Okay, okay, all right. Or Ben. Okay, so try to keep this straight. Okay, Bana is used in front of a noun. Ben is used in front of an activity, like Ben Chekas, okay? A woman teacher, or a woman, literally something like a woman of teaching, okay? Or Ben Chlani, a cleaning woman. Oh, I guess another way of phrasing the Ben Chesek would be a teaching woman, okay? Because this would be a verb. Ben Chlani, a cleaning woman. Ben Chorla, a female counselor, a counseling woman. Okay. Ben Eishtich, a female listener, a woman of listening. Okay. So Ben and Bana refer to the female person who's doing an activity or has a job. Okay. So Ban or Bana would go in front of the word that is normally masculine, like Saiger. Saiger refers to the male. Bana Haiger refers to the female soldier. Okay? All right, okay. And here's the exception, except Bodanach. Okay? I'm going to put this up above. Okay. Let's see. All right. I'll put it right here in the female category, except Bodanach, which is masculine. Yeah, go figure. All right. Okay. So B, Boyak, parts of the body, parts Voyak. Okay. So many parts of the body are female, are feminine. Kas, leg, lav, hand, sul, eye. Okay. And then note that these don't follow any of the previous rules. They don't have a final slender vowel. They don't end with an ak or an ek. And they don't refer to a female person. Okay, but they're parts of the body, and many of them are female, okay, or feminine. Okay, so I have a count uncount. Yeah. Head is noun, head, yeah. I think. Let me double check that. Might be wrong. Count. Nope. Count is Fíranach. Okay. All right. Count is Fíranach. I'm wrong about that. Okay. Count. Okay. You tricked me. Okay. All right. Okay. Count is Fíranach. Okay. Okay. And I'll get to a way in just a few minutes that you can double check these like I just did. Okay. Kill. Okay. Some musical references are on feminine, especially traditional musical instruments. And there's just a few of these, but pipe, bagpipe, feel, fiddle, but but this isn't that you can't really depend on this totally because Clàr, which you might consider to be traditional, is masculine. Okay. And then, of course, Òran, song, is masculine as well. Okay. So, anyway. Okay. Duchenen, nations. Okay. For D, Duchenen. Okay. Alapa, Antoine, Sweden, Anrenk, France, Sassin, England, Ahumri, Wales. Okay. These are feminine. These are feminine. Okay. These are feminine. And then notice that many, not all, but many national names take the article, take the definite article on. Okay. Antoine, the Sweden. Anrenk, the France. Ahumri, the Wales. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. E, and here I'm cheating. It's Idermulch. Okay. And but sort of E. Okay, because it sounds like an E. But heavenly bodies, Ruten ounce on Idermulch. Things in the heavens. Okay. Grian, the sun. Gaelic, the moon. Rinnoch, star. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So these are largely feminine. Okay. So there you have some tells. Okay. And if a word is not in the above groups, most often it's male. Imported loan words, so that's just, a very easy rule to remember there. Well, if it's not one of these, it's probably male. Loan words from English are usually male. Bus, car, plane. Okay. An exception, we always have exceptions. Trolley, from the English trolley, is feminine. Okay, even though it's imported from English. So here you might have a couple different rules. Maybe it's feminine because of the last vowel rule. I don't know. It just is, but it is an exception. Okay. And verbal nouns, when operating as a noun, okay, are masculine. Okay. Aharakak, the act of changing. Fainek, the act of asking. Kaunakak, act of buying. Okay. So here, remember we refer to these as verbal nouns. So Gaelic has this interesting feature in which a verb can be a noun and a noun can be a verb. Okay. Okay. So this is how they work as nouns. That is a verbal noun. Hur antarachach una orum. The change surprised me. Put the change surprise on me. Okay. Ha am feinig shin mi vogel. The question is rude. Am feinig. Okay, so here we have the word used as a noun, and chamitolicheles on kaunakakakam. I'm happy with my purchase. Lesh on kaunakak. Okay? And this is how the verbal nouns work as verbal nouns. Ha nalayan agarakak. So notice it's the same word. Agarakak, ga'arakak. Okay, the days are changing. Va'e afainik. Karsan aha u hogorach. He asked, why are you so stupid? Okay? Afainik. He was asking. Ha'i akaunakak kar ur. She is buying a new car. Okay? All right. So now, the verbal noun rule, a little note here, works even when a verbal noun might have a last slender vowel. If it's a verbal noun, the verbal noun rules everything. So one that I came up with is arui, running. You notice the last slender vowel, but it's a verbal noun, so va'iet arui, they were running, or va'anurui fat, the run was long. Okay, va'efat, it was long, he was long, that is the run. Okay? Okay. All right, so, and then, and one final explanation for verbal noun. Okay. It's a noun that acts like a verb. Okay, it gives us action. Gives us action. And we can see this, okay, in when we say va'e afainik, we're actually saying something like literally, he was at asking. You see, so that is the use of the noun to serve as a verb. He was at asking. Okay. Ha-i akaunakuk. Literally, she was at buying. She was at the buying of something. Okay. And you can really see this when we see that and this takes us a little advanced, but just to illustrate something. When we have an object of the verb, so ha-i akaunakuk, where are we? Akaunakuk, akar, ur. Okay. She is at the buying of the new car. So we don't say she is buying a car, and this takes us into a little bit deeper into the grammar grass, but she is at the buying of the new car. So the verbal noun takes a prepositional phrase. It doesn't take an object. And we'll get into that. You don't necessarily have to remember that, but I'm just demonstrating how how the verbal noun is rationalized, how we can think of it, or something to keep in the back of our heads when we go a little bit further. Okay? All right. Okay. Exceptions. So remember that in Gaelic, rules are sometimes just suggestions rather than rules. Okay? So I came up with a couple exceptions. Ashik, a ferry, that is the ferry boat, the thing that you put your car on to go across a body of water. You would think of it as feminine because of its ek ending, but it's masculine. Boo, you might guess is masculine because it does not have the telltale slender vowel at the end, but is in fact a feminine word. Okay? Boranach, we've already talked about that. You might be certain would have to be feminine, but as we've talked about, is masculine. Okay? And other words that don't follow the slender vowel at the end rule are words that indicate somebody doing something, an occupation. So Sgeulachd, Iascar, Truistar, Sgeulachd, a sailor man, Iascar, a fisher man, a Truster, a filthy, nasty, indecent, or obscene man. Okay? The AIR here indicates something like the ER in English. Okay? The sailor, the fisher, I don't know what we'd say here. Okay. Okay. The filthier. Okay. I don't know. Okay. And if the person is a male, if the natural gender, okay, put natural gender is male, the final vowel rule does not hold, as in braher or shenner, grandfather, braher, brother, shenner, grandfather. Okay? And just randomly, non-human words are masculine. Kusper, a subject, or kauser, sidewalk. These are masculine. Okay. And then to remind us how variable the category is, there are some AIR words that are feminine. So it's a kaher, maher, shenever. These are feminine. Okay. So you can't depend on the AIR word for much. Okay. And then you have a small number of words that are masculine in one region and feminine in another. And I wasn't able to dig up instances, but I have seen instances where one dictionary says it's masculine, another dictionary says it's feminine. Okay. And then it's just a coin toss. Okay. So ashel, ass, feminine. And this is a quote from Colin Mark. Ashel, a donkey, is feminine but masculine in some places. And that's what he writes. He goes, who knows? Okay. And if that's not confusing enough, there are a couple words that in one gender are one gender in one case and another in another case. And so by case, I mean whether it's the subject of a sentence, or the object of a preposition, or the genitive, the possessive, which we haven't gotten to yet. But just a quick example. Amur, the sea, is masculine, but namara, of the sea, feminine, takes a feminine form. Namara, of the sea. Okay, right? Okay. Which would be used like this. Hamur fiech anju, the sea is wild today. Or vatun namara art, the waves of the sea, feminine, were high. Okay. But these exceptions are not numerous, so at this point you don't have to worry about them. Remember that these are not 100%. They might be 80%. And nobody's going to stone you, if you get it wrong. Okay. Gaelic speakers are not that rule conscious, but anyway. Okay. So, but they're good rule of thumb, and the odds are in your favor if you follow these rules, these guidelines. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, here's a fun one. There's a book called A Collection of Gaelic Poetry on Ul is Arstia, put together by Michael Newton, who actually spoke at the House of Scotland several months ago. And he put together this book on Ulas Arsja, a collection of traditional Gaelic poetry, some very old. I had the chance when I met him to ask him, following another rule, ul for apple is usually masculine, in which case it should be antul isarsja for another rule that we'll get to. Okay. And he just said, well, it's feminine in some areas and masculine in others. So that's how he dodged that. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, it's good to know these rules because sometimes, we're doing stuff off the cuff. But if you have time, you can always refer to a dictionary, like I just did just a little earlier. Okay. I was confused about the gender of cown. And so refer to a dictionary. Okay, so, and it'll always give you the gender. So, Seanfhacal Beck, that's the online dictionary. Okay. Will give you Fianach, okay. Okay, FIR, that's the Gaelic for masculine, Fianach, okay. Boyd Robertson marks M for masculine and F for feminine. Okay, so you see, so little difference sometimes. So here, fear would be masculine, and F in Boyd Robertson would be feminine. Okay, Colin Mark, if you use him, signifies gender with an NM or NF, noun feminine or N masculine. So using the initials for the English, okay. Learn Gaelic online dictionary plainly states the gender after telling you the word is a noun. So noun masculine. Okay, so so it gives you the initial, or it to be noun fem for feminine. Okay, so a dictionary is a good source. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So next week I'll come back to this, and we will do the and we'll have some exercises. Okay, to enhance our learning of this. But anyway, but now to rest our brains, we're going to turn to something else. Right? Okay. All right. Something else besides grammar. Okay. So in honor of Burns Night, which is still 10 days off, but maybe I'm a little early. I'm just eager to get to it. But anyway, Eichena Takisha, Night of the Haggis, or Eicha Burns, Burns Night. Okay? Eicha Burns, Eichena Takisha, Night of the Haggis. Okay. All right. Okay. And then I have a PDF that I've also supplied to you, so you can refer to it. Is this, yeah, okay, all right, okay. 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 Question? Okay. Okay. I'm trying to get out of the way. Okay. I don't know where to put that. Okay. So Dulchash na Gaelic Burns, the Gaelic heritage of Robert Burns. Okay. All right. So now, many people complain about the cultural appropriation of Gaelic heritage by celebrations on Burns Night. First, they say Burns was not Gaelic. And then if you do this, you're stealing Gaelic culture. Bagpipes, kilts, haggis, they have nothing to do with Robert Burns, and they're all Highland. They're all Gaelic. So what's going on? You see, so the question is, Robert Burns a Gael? Doesn't seem like he would have been. He's from Ayrshire, which is in the lowlands. You see, so here we have the traditional Highland line, the division between Highlands and Lowlands. Lowlands traditionally being a Gaelic speaking, at least in since early modern times. Though most of Scotland was Gaelic speaking at even earlier than that, but in early modern times, early 16, 1700s, the lowlands were English speaking, and then the highlands were predominantly Gaelic speaking. He wrote his poetry exclusively in Scots, which is a dialect of English, and he was a lowlander. However, if we research his heritage, we'll find some interesting connections and some actually fun stories. So, answer to the question, did Burns have Gaelic heritage? So we have to go back to the beginning of the 15th century to Lorne in the Highlands. So here's Lorne right here in the Highlands, well above the Highland lines, famously a Gaelic area. And there's a clan chief a minor chief by the name of Walter Campbell. His house was on the stream of Luchragan called Tyne Ulch, house of the stream. Okay, Tyne Ulch. Nowadays known as Tynulch. Okay, so anglicized to Tynulch, but retains its ancient Gaelic roots. And sometimes he was known as Walter Tynulch. Okay, Walter of the high house on the stream, or as we'll find out, the burn. Okay, because a burn would be a Scots word for a stream, and also it's a word in Gaelic that means fresh water. Okay, so here's an interesting little bit of history on Clàr on Clàr Hechen. Okay, so these were wandering bands of bards, of poets. They'd go around the highlands and visit the houses of clan chiefs, and they demand hospitality. And it had to be good hospitality, had to be appropriate hospitality for two different reasons. One, they were armed, they were fierce warriors, and there was enough of them to cause trouble. And also, what was even more frightening is if you were a clan chief and you didn't treat them well, they'd write a nasty poem about you. So one historian noted, satire is painful to all men and excruciating to the sensitive Celt. The Clàr Hechen satirized and vituperized all who resisted their exactions, that is, their demands. Their satires were barbaric and vitriolic and caused conflicts and bloodshed when bandied up and down the country, one clan against another clan. Okay. And they could stay at a chief's house for a year and a day, according to the custom. And when they landed on a chief's home, they would eat everything they could, eat their hosts out of house and home. So, and the story of Burns' heritage begins when on Clàr Hechen visited the home of Walter Campbell. They ate and drank much beyond the income of Walter, and the son of Walter Campbell took great offense at this, and his name was Walter as well, so might confuse things. But anyway, so he wrote, Yiek shiv mochuch, is fronik shiv morap, is rolik shiv morion, is spinach shiv movat. You've eaten all my stuff, you've pounded my mouth, you've drunk my wine, and plucked my hair. Okay. He took great offense at these guys. So he planned a trick. He went to the forest and began to cut a tree. He asked his guests to help him. He put a wedge in the trunk to split it. That's the wedge. Okay, he's going to split the trunk, the tree trunk. And he said, put your hands in the gap and pull the pieces of the trunks apart. Help me pull the trunk apart, Okay, he was building something. I don't know what he told him he was building, but, but this is common enough, to make your own planks of wood from a tree trunk. They did that. He knocked the wedge out, and the trunk sprang back together, and the hands of the guests were caught. They couldn't escape. They were helpless, right? So here we have a trigger warning, okay? He walked along a row of bards and cut their heads off as they struggled. Not were struggled, but as they struggled. Okay? Okay? And to this day, the name of the place is Clàr, the trapping of the bards. Clàr. Okay? The trapping of the bards. And so their hands were caught in the wedge, and he killed them all. Now, people in the Highlands were in an uproar with outrage, but not as you might expect over the murder of 16 poets, but over the breaking of the law of hospitality. The tragedy, and this is a quote from a history of the time, the tragedy aroused unbounded sensation throughout the district and throughout the Highlands. For the unhappy men were of various tribes and clans. A code of honor existed among Highlanders, a code more rigid than brass, that a guest, however unwelcome and however black his crime, was safe from injury for a year and a day. It was felt that Campbell had broken this law of hospitality as well as the laws of the church, and a huge wave of resentment arose against him. Okay. So Walter Aher, father, and Walter Mac had to flee from the west coast to the east. So here they were, and then they fled over here to the east coast. Okay. And they took the name of Burns House after Tyan Ulch, house on the burn, house on the stream. Okay. And after that, Burness. And after that, the name of the father of the poet, Robert Burns, when the family moved from the east coast over back to the west in Ayrshire and the lowlands. Okay, it became Burns. And so we can track the changing of the name. And a lot of this we know because of this connection. Dr. James Burns. A couple generations passed, and along came the grandson of the brother of Robert Burns's father. Dr. James Burns was a famous man, a doctor, and a high official of the empire in the 1800s. He wanted to establish his right to a peerage, that is a position in the aristocracy, which was very important in those days, to become a lord. Okay? He researched his genealogy, much like people do today, but through their DNA. In those days, it was the old-fashioned way. Right? And the genealogy of Walter Campbell, James Campbell. So here's Walter Campbell, the original, and then his family, his children. And down here, we have Rabbi Burns and Dr. Burns. So you see, so these two were cousins and related to the same grandfather who goes back up to Walter Campbell, which means that Robert Burns had Gaelic heritage, which this type of family relationship was very important to people of the time. Who your father was, who your grandfather was, who your, I should say your Shenner, your grandfather, your Sheen Shenner, okay, your great-grandfather, very important. So the family line goes back to Walter Campbell and the Highlands. And the historian wrote in 1913, in Lorne was the seat of the first Parliament of Scotland, the language of which was Gaelic. And coming down the stream of time was the home of the ancestors of John MacDonald, of Duncan Ban McIntyre, my ancestor, and Robert Burns. Okay, so that's attested to. And in Lorne, the family of Robert Burns was remembered. Walter Campbell, the original Walter, was a poet. His poetry sang about the people of the area before they had to run away. And an old man remarked, Burns had a poetic heritage. It was from a great bard, that is Walter, that he was descended. So Burns, our Robert Burns, was descended from a great bard, a Gaelic bard. And it wasn't Burns's father alone who had Gaelic heritage. His mother's name was Agnes Brown and was Nichaevige Clown Sgeulachd, Davidson of the clan Chattan. Okay, of the literally of the servants of the cat. Okay, Sgeulachd. Okay, Davidson of Clan Chattan. That was her grandmother. So on his mother's side, he was Gaelic as well. And here's Nakatanich, Clan Chattan. Okay, they come from this area of Scotland. Okay, and Clan Chattan was a kind of a federation of clans, and it included many different names. So, including McIntyre's here, McIntyre's in Bachanoch. Okay. Evidence of Burns' Gaelic connection in his poetry. Okay. It was Burns who wrote the famous "My heart's in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the Highlands, a chasing the deer. Chasing the deer and following the roe. My heart's in the Highlands wherever I go." And then he wrote, "Farewell to the Highlands, farewell to the North, the birthplace of valor, the country of worth. Wherever I wander, wherever I rove, the hills of the Highlands forever I love." Okay, and this echoes the poetry of his great-grandfather. Surrey le lonen and glaun is leshen ned, is glan yes true. Surrey gan vuch agal, mo crachlair, mo crach an Jew. Farewell to the ponds and the glens and pure streams. Farewell to the herds and their young. My sorrow is full, my pain is overwhelming. Okay, and just back to Burns, no other lowland poet wrote such songs of praise to the Highlands. Or Burns' poem about his love with Mary Campbell, Highland Mary. Okay, and here I have a Gaelic translation, but anyway, ye banks and braes and streams around the castles of Montgomery, green be your woods and fair your flowers, your waters never drumly, that is cloudy. There summer first unfolded her robes, and there the longest tarry, for there I took the last farewell, O my sweet Highland Mary. Good. And Mary was one of the women that Burns fell in love with, and unfortunately she died before their planned marriage, and they were about to emigrate across the waters to America. Even the name of Burns' faithful and beloved dog was Gaelic, Lua, which was named after the name of the dog of the Gaelic hero Cuchulainn. And he wrote, his friend and comrade had him, and in games was Lua called him. After some dog in Highland song was made long since, Lord knows how long. Okay, and Burns does not write about political issues because it was very dangerous to do so in those days, but maybe obliquely. In his poem To a Mouse, on turning her up in her nest with a plow. And he voiced his empathy with the small creature. What was happening is the farmer, supposed the poet, the one who's speaking, is plowing the ground, and he turns up the nest of a small mouse. And he sits there and ponders and ruminates over the fate of this little tiny creature. And he empathizes with her. And he writes, "Wee sleekit cowran timorous beastie, oh, what a panic's in thy breastie. Thou need not start away so hasty with bicker and brattle. I would be laith to rin and chase thee with murder and prattle." Okay, I'd be loath. I would be disinclined to run and chase thee, with a murdering paddle. Okay, so, and you have to wonder if the bard wasn't drawing a parallel with the Gaels in the Highlands who were similarly evicted during the Highland clearances out of their house and home and sent out into the cold. So, in conclusion, I would say that Burns was Gaelic, and it's most appropriate to celebrate his remembrance in full honors of our Gaelic heritage. So, and some references. Okay. All right.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions? Phil?
Eva. Hi, Tolitsa.
Okay, pleva. Okay. It was I have to say it was very gratifying, a lot of fun to research that. And actually I was turned on to the topic by a Gaelic advocate who's passed away, but long an advocate of Gaelic education and Gaelic medium education. And his real bee in his bonnet was all the Highland or Gaelic paraphernalia around Burns Night. And so it just started the question, well, what was Burns's Gaelic heritage, or did he have a Gaelic heritage? So, and this fellow who is Scottish and didn't even know this, did not even know this heritage of Burns, but I was able to research it and turned up some interesting stuff. Okay. All righty. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now we'll turn to our song of the week. Okay. And I'm just trying to find where I put this. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me share the screen again. Yeah, right. Bad manners not tolerated. And it's interesting as far as that goes. And that's true. Yeah, I'll just tell you a couple quick bits in regards to that. One, I was brought up in a Scottish immigrant family. Yeah, so and acquired some Scottish behavioral traits. One of which was the importance placed on politeness, to such an extent that many of my American friends uh, uh, criticized me for being too polite. But I just brought up, you know, politeness and courtesy being embedded in me. Besides that, in some Gaelic textbooks, learning Gaelic textbooks, one of the first words that you learn, and I'll bring this up on the screen as I have to now, I have to bring up the screen. The sound, okay. So, oh, I want to close that. Okay, I want to show the. Let's see what I want to show. I want to show right here. Okay, so I'm going to show the notes. In Mogul. So, those polite, well behaved. In some Gaelic textbooks, I've noticed this is one of the first words. I mean, the first, 100 words or 200 words, something like that. It's in the early chapters of the book that is taught. And so, what happens when you have a textbook teaching a language? More often than not, I guess all the time, words are chosen that are important to the culture. And, so they, so it was a dialogue, how we have dialogue sometimes to learn, right? It was a dialogue in which people were talking about their children, and in various cultures, parents will say different things about their children. So this I got from an Asian friend, from a Korean friend. She noted that when Korean parents talk about their children or ask about the other parents' children, they'll ask how'd they do on the placement exam. Did they get into Harvard? Something like that, right? American parents will ask, well, did your kids make the team? Okay. Gaelic parents will note that their children are mogul, polite, well behaved, Hayit mogul. Okay, so that's a cultural value. So anyway, so mogul. So there's another word for you, mogul. Okay, all right. So politeness. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, now let's go back here. Okay, where are we? Okay, I want to go here. Okay, so make this a little bit bigger. We're going to sing Fair Avata. Okay. And this is a song a young woman is singing to her lover, her boyfriend, her fiance, who is not with her. He's off on a cruise. He's, he's working a boat, right? He's a boatman, probably the captain of a boat. Okay. So she sings Here Avata, Nahoro Ela. So go ahead and say that. Here Avata, Ahoro Ela.
Here,
Ela,
Here Avata, Nahoro Ela.
Virabata, Naholo, Ela,
Here Avata, Nahoro Ela.
Virabata, Nahoro, Ela,
Hori Slanlet is gach gach ach an chechu. Mohori
Oshor, Slan, Et,
Slanlet is gach ach
Ach,
an
Ach,
chechu.
and
Okay, my fond farewell to you wherever you go, Skach, and each place that you go. Okay. Is Trich Michelton,
Strick, Michelle,
Michelton, on Kroch Asarcha.
on Coke, Arscha,
Often I would look from the hill, that's the highest, from the highest hill. Yich am fech, Yich am fech,
am fake,
mi fair avata.
me Virabata,
Trying to see the boatman. My translate is my boatman, fair avata. On Chiku and Jew,
and Chiku,
Jew, will you come tonight? Or actually today. Okay. That should be today. Okay. No, on Chikumara.
No, the Chikumara,
Okay. Will you come today or will you come tomorrow? Ismar Chiku each or Gatru Gahami.
Shemai, Chiku, Eacher, Good, Truck, Ahami.
Okay. Moor Chiku each or Gatru Gahami. Sorry will be, or if you don't come at all, it is sad that I will be. It is sorry that I will be. Okay. Oh, sorry will I be if you do not come at all. Okay. Hamochriasa.
Amokriyasa,
Okay. Bruscha.
Brusha,
I just love that. Bruscha. I say it whenever I can. Okay. I just love the way it sounds. Hamochriasa. And right here, my heart. My heart. Okay, that emphatic. Hamochriasa brischa bruscha. My heart is broken and bruised. Is trichna jor.
Satrixna Jor,
Rui omhulen.
Arroyo,
And often tears are running from my eyes. On chichunok.
and Chikunok,
Will you come tonight? Nombi mohul root.
Lambimo, Root,
Okay. No, will I be expecting you? Will I wait up for you? Nundun me and Doris.
Nan, Unmina Doris,
Doris le oshna hursek.
like Osh,
Or close the door with a sad sigh, with oshna, sigh, hursek. Sad. Okay. Le oshna hursek. is trich mi feinech,
Strict me
Me
fine.
find
je luch na Bhàta.
Look Nambata.
Often I ask of the men of the boat, of the boatmen, fachiet u,
Fuck you, do.
have they seen you, velu salvach,
Belo salve.
or are you safe? Ach sauna hagach,
Sauna haga.
un rijf geraten.
Ungai go atan.
Okay. And each one of them, un huv, gerachchen, they all tell me, gegorich misha, mahuk migragut.
Gugorsh misha. Mahuk migra.
Gegorich misha was foolish I was if I gave you my love, my hukmi gra, love to you. Okay. All right. So this is the song, and supposedly written by an actual woman who actually went through this experience. And I'll tell you how it ended when we get to the end of the song. Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on a second. So now we will go to the song. All right. And we'll go here. Okay, so we'll have Gaelic up top and English on the bottom so you can follow along. Follow along, sing along with it. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Okay. So we can be a little bit easier to follow. So follow along. Let's go. And I trust you can hear it?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Ira
Òran briacha.
Òran bria, Gleivria, Gujera. Okay, now just a couple more words. So, and of course, as I mentioned before, as we go through these songs, they're more than just songs. They give us a look at the culture. Okay, sometimes a look at the history. A great way to pick up vocabulary because the words of the song might stick with you, uh, 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 or be more sticky in your brain than just looking at words in a dictionary, and as well a good way to pick up pronunciation. Okay, all right, okay, Gleba. Now, one other thing. Now, the song. Now, many times in Gaelic songs, um, uh, 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 many times Gaelic songs are sad. Okay, this one apparently has a happy ending. The the fellow, the boatman, Fairavata, did return, and they married, and they lived happily ever after. So,
Gleva.
yeah, so he was off working and making money for them to get married, and he came back and they married. So, and I have one thing other, just along the lines of what to expect as we start picking up more traditional songs. Here's a short clip of Gaelic karaoke. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's see, so okay, can you hear that?
No.
No? Okay. Oh, I have to share again. Okay, sorry. I always forget. Okay. I'm juggling all these things. Okay, share. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. This is just a couple minute little clip. All right. So Gaelic karaoke. They just call it karaoke. All right.
Mwyr y fale? Wyhins na letia na ceta Sean sar eich a cola? Fiat karaoke. A hit bar karaoke le Òran Gaelic. Hanna solas a jarsu, with a cocktail riol, agus hanna Òran, Bron. Tag o Keith and Òran, Mewing Undrain, Cocu, agus a Undrain Kuchikin a Aun in Cocu.
Laura, Was strázachke?
Clario. An unvar an some fire porn star martini. Ads. A how is shame me you in the fourth. Give good Claudio. Ik pries koik nog gach schijnter. Jo sure naski le kast or van
Okay. Okay. There you go, Claudia. Okay. Songs about longing, songs about war, and songs about longing during a war. Okay. Okay. All righty. Okay. So, Hashin Ula Vandrasta, Akarshin, we're all done now, my friends. So anyway, so any questions, any last words from anybody? Okay, all right. Okay, Gleva. Okay, well, Aikaba, shortly I'll have the updated materials loaded in the Dropbox, and as soon as it's available, I will upload the recording of tonight's lesson.
Thank you for the calendar.
Oh, okay. The shade of air, shade of air. Okay, you're quite welcome. Okay. Okay, so Aikaba.
Aikava.
Think about
Be
cheery.
safe, Michael.
Aikava.
Welcome back, Tim.
Had problem with Zoom because it's called Zoom workplace now.
Zoom fatigue.
No, it says Zoom workplace.
Oh,
And first it wouldn't let me log in. And then took 10 minutes.
Heather, while you're still here.
Yeah.
Okay. Our member Frank Hunter is taking both of the burns tonight. The Ode to the Haggis. Yeah. So Michael, we've been very busy hooking people up with people who can actually say the address to the haggis in a Scots and even act it out. I think you saw him one time at one event.
Oh yeah, I saw him.
He's good at stabbing the haggis, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
he's good at
anyway,
stabbing it.
Stabbing.
yeah. So I told him I would give him a ride. We're doing the yacht club on that day at noon. And he talked James Logan into dressing up in his Highland garb for Clan Logan to meet the Lord Lion in Scotland, Edinburgh in April. So he's got all this stuff. So I'm going to pick up James at his house with his garb, pick up Frank in his garb, take him to the yacht club, and then I don't know what we'll do, but I have to reverse it, take him home, and then pick up Frank and go to Dan Diego's Europub, but I think it's called something else, and do it again.
I think they call it the pub. It's on Marina.
Maury, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's talking about that one.
Okay,
I
don't know
there
what
when it
time.
had the I was there in the 09.
I will say the restaurant owner, the chef, makes really good haggis. It's not, I don't know. He makes his own. I think he said he uses lamb, a little bit of liver, and then all the other stuff. But it's very good, you know, as haggis goes. You really got to be into innards.
They put a lot of gravy on it, tastes better.
I was watching this Japanese YouTube, and the guy says, "What do Japanese men, working Japanese men, do on Christmas Eve?" And so you see him walking into a 7-Eleven in Japan, and he buys some kind of a beer thing, a drink, and then he goes and he buys a little thing to be heated in the microwave, a dish, but on it, it says in Japanese, and underneath it, it says, beef inner bits in gravy.
Okay.
Beef
Beef inner bits.
inner bits.
Like
in
inner
gravy.
organs, yeah.
Organs, yeah.
Mm.
I go, the poor guy, he should stick with Buddhism. They probably would eat better. Okay, bye-bye. That's all. See you later. Take care of yourself, Michael.
I sure will. Oh, wait, here. Wait,
Yeah.
Pat?
Yes.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, I got something for you. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna share
Okay.
screen. Okay, so you should get this.
Ice King Bear Wild Animal Stuffed
No,
Animal Zoo.
Look, can you see the picture?
It's a hedgehog.
It's a
Because I know they come
hedgehog.
as
How
pets over
cute.
there.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
hedgehog.
oh no. Oh no, it's a hedgehog. Oh no, I was looking for a stuffed haggis
Oh,
toy.
a stuffed
Oh,
haggis.
One that's
okay, because that wasn't.
Oh, you didn't
no,
find
that was
one?
a hedgehog. No, they don't have one. Okay, that's
Oh,
yeah.
They make pinatas.
They have a piñata. A happy
yeah. They,
piñata.
our treasurer needed one last year and went to the House of Mexico, and they hooked him up with a person that makes custom piñatas. And so they made it like a piñata, like a haggis. There was Susie and Jim Malcolm from Scotland doing a little concert on May 5th.
Aw.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a wild
that's
haggis.
cute. Look at that.
Yeah.
Has a
Wild
passport.
haggis plush. Okay.
Oh, that's cute. Haggis Wildlife Foundation. Okay, I'll write that down.
34 pounds is too expensive.
That's be expensive, yeah.
Well, maybe we can make our own.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You know, you can look on the internet,
Uh-huh.
get pictures of wild haggis.
Mhm.
Is that the wild haggis?
Looks like a sheep.
Oh,
That's funny.
like right here.
Have you ever wondered how the wild haggis species are intricately linked with their natural habitats? Well, the story of the wild haggis and their environment is a tale of interdependence and balance. Each type of haggis, whether it's the lowland dweller, the highland soft breed, or the Guinea Island haggis, is uniquely adapted to its habitat. For instance, the lowland haggis thrives in the dense forest undergrowth, while the highland soft breed is perfectly suited to the rugged mountain terrain. These adaptations are not just for survival, though. They contribute significantly to the health and balance of their ecosystems. By foraging for food, haggis help to spread seeds, promoting new growth. Their burrowing habits also aid in soil aeration, enhancing nutrient cycling in the forest. Simply put, without the haggis, the forest would lose a vital part of its life cycle. Each haggis, from the lowland dweller to the highland soft breed, plays a crucial role in maintaining the diversity and stability of their respective habitats.
Oh,
But what exactly are these wild haggis creatures and how do they differ from one another, you may ask? Let's delve deeper into the fascinating world of haggis species to find out.
all of them.
First, lowland haggis.
Oh, that's great. That's all from the Haggis Wildlife Foundation.
My foundation, yeah.
I
Yeah,
wrote that down. I'll have to get some.
yeah.
And we'll have to put it out in the cottage for, people want to know about them.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, though, while doing a quick search, I couldn't find anybody who actually makes a stuffed haggis. So anyway, yeah.
Oh, well, if you do, let me know, because our treasurer, Tom, and I've got a deal on haggis, what do you call it? Not skins, but the poaching bag.
The crisp.
Oh, really?
No, this is the bag. And so you make it,
Oh.
and then you put it in this, and then you steam it.
Oh,
But you know, so anyway, so they were going out of business. How about that? So we got them at 10 cents on the dollar. And Tom's, because he says, should I buy them? I go, sure, buy them. Who has those? We'll put them on display. As they are.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, all right. Well,
Okay, well, thanks for the fun.
Hey, stay safe.
Uh,
Michael, stay safe.
I'll
Yeah.
try. Okay.
Hopefully no
Okay.
fire goes up your way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's still some ways away, but
We had a lot of wind today.
Again, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, fortunately, not up here, not where I am, but I read that down near the coast, there's a lot of wind, and new fire just picked up in Ventura.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's really bad country up there.
Yeah.
Have that Ojai up above Ventura, artist colony,
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, and then Santa Paula. They probably will stop at Santa Paula because they've got hills and hills of citrus that take a lot of water. So that might stop some of it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway.
It's tragic. In Malibu, there's no houses left,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
Malibu and Pacific Palisades.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
oh, what was
It's
it?
just horrible, and they think it started with some firecrackers.
Yeah, well, nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
You know, people are just guessing. So, but
Mhm.
you know, but this is famous worldwide. Yeah, I've been interviewed a couple times on Gaelic radio.
Yes, I listened to one
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
recent.
yeah, I think you listened to the one on politics, but they
Yeah.
called me back a couple times about the fires. I mean, you know,
Oh,
they know about them in Scotland even.
Mm.
uh,
Yeah, so it's famous worldwide. You know, if famous is the right word, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's known worldwide about the fires here. You know, well, the worst fires we've had in Southern California ever.
ever. Yeah.
So
In my lifetime, yeah, ever.
yeah, so
Oh, well.
well, on
Okay.
that happy note, I'll say good night.
Okay.
Enough.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks, Heather.
Very
Cheery.
Thanks for getting on that, Heather.